Welcome back to Animated Times. Joe Todd with you. Today we're going to talk about 10 sci-fi comics worthy of their own movie. Sci-fi movies have been one of the most underrated genres of all time. There have been many sci-fi movies that have been massive box office hits, and of course, why wouldn't they be? Who doesn't love sci-fi? Franchises like Star Wars and Star Trek have considerable fan base. However, there are many fantastic science fiction plots with fascinating storylines in the comics. Hence, we will list the top 10 science fiction comics which deserve to have their own movies. Number 10, Extremity. The most unbelievable comics created by Daniel Warren Johnson is Extremity. Is a mixture of science fiction and fantasy. The plot follows Thea, who wishes to take revenge on the clan that smashed down her family. With merciless battles raging between man, machines, and monsters, the future is quite uncertain for Thea, who is on a quest for revenge. The comic is full of violence, with plenty of historical events unfolding at the same time. While this comic beat out Game of Thrones when it comes to violent scenes. However, the protagonist Thea's story makes it all the more interesting to develop this comic into a movie. Number 9, 100%. The comic is written and drawn by Paul Hope and published by DC Comics. Vertigo imprint a series of issues. The story follows 6 of our main characters located in Manhattan, New York, in January 2038. Well, we are back to the future here. The plot is based on a science fiction and cyberpunk environment following 3 different love stories. Plus, by now, we all know how great love stories are in sci-fi movies. If you take a look at Anakin and Padme in Star Wars, 100% would have some potential if it were developed into a film. Number 8, Bitch Planet. The American comic book is created by writer Kelly Sue DeConnick and artist Valentine DeLandro. The comics mainly portray feminism taking place in a dystopian reality where non-compliant women are shipped to an off-planet prison. There are several issues addressed throughout the comic series, ranging from women's rights to human curiosity. Yay, go girl power! A film adaptation of Bitch Planet would prove to be an inspiration for many women facing difficult situations. Ronin. DC Comics publishes an American comic book which is written and drawn by Frank Miller along with artwork painted by Lynn Varley. Taking place in a dystopian near future, New York City, the comic plots the reincarnation of Ronin. Along with having resemblance of a samurai films and science fiction makes this comic one of a kind as it is released in the 1980s. A film adaptation will most definitely give us a look at the ancient history, making it unique. Number 6, Eugenic. The comic book is created by GLAAD, award-nominated team James Tynion IV and Eric Donovan. Eugenic explores the world disrupted by a plague. A scientist happens to discover a cure to the plague and become humankind's only hope. Well, someone had to stop Khan in Star Trek 2 from waging havoc. However, there is a slight plot twist. James Kirk may have saved everyone from Khan's wrath, but how will you protect yourself from something that should have cured you? Though with the help of the cure, hope may be restored, and the world is rebuilding, but the people who have consumed the cure start facing issues. It seems the children they bear are abnormal, which forever changes the meaning of normalcy. However, it's an excellent science fiction, and film adaptations could break the box office records. Number 5, Pluto. This being a Japanese manga series written and demonstrated by Naku Urasawa, the plot follows the Europool robot detective solving the case of a string of robot and human deaths. The most potent robots are hunted down by a robot called Pluto. His quest is to become the most powerful robot on the planet. The narrative of the comics is a little long, hence this makes the comic perfect for a Netflix series. Number 4, The Weatherman. The plot follows a young man named Nathan Bright, who has it all, a girlfriend, job, and even a dog, just as a weatherman on terraform Mars. However, soon his perfect life is turned upside down when he's accused of being a part of a terrorist attack that nearly wipes out an entire population of Earth. Being the most wanted man alive, he becomes the victim of a chase. Well, whether or not Nathan committed the crime is unclear, but this comic would be a kick-ass movie or a series. Number 3, Paper Girls. The comic is based off mystery and science fiction genres, written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Cliff Chiang. The plot follows the story of 4 newspaper delivery girls in Stony Stream, a fictional suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. While delivering newspapers one morning after Halloween, the Earth is mysteriously invaded by a force from the future. The girls get caught up in the conflict between two warring factions of time travelers. This might be one of the freshest, most dramatic film adaptations of sci-fi comics. Number 2. Sega. Being a space opera come fantasy comic book, Sega is a comic book series written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. The comic is influenced by Star Wars and is based on the ideas perceived by Brian K. Vaughan as a child and a parent. The plot follows husband and wife, Alana and Marco, from long-wearing extraterrestrial races and fleeing authorities from both sides of the galactic war. Now, this is the new Bonnie and Clyde of the sci-fi. Having a film adaptation of the film would most definitely be entertaining to watch in live action. Number 1. Batman Beyond. Out of all the Batman movies, it's most definitely surprising that we have been deprived of the new Batman Beyond movie. The comic book goes into the details of the life of Terry McGinnis, who inherits the Batman mantle. We see McGinnis battling various enemies, which we are quite familiar with, and also ones that are now introduced. It will be very funky to watch Batman Beyond be adapted as an animated TV series. Well, there you have it. There's the 10 sci-fi comics worthy of their own movie. What comic books are you reading? Tell us in the comments below if you think they should be adapted into a movie or series. Make sure you smash that like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can follow us at Animated Times.